Backstage, a final ruffle of the hair and some encouragement from the Prime Minister's girlfriend before Boris Johnson's biggest test. The music of The Who heralded his arrival, but the what and the why of his Brexit plan, all that matters now, and no rowing back from this.
We are coming out of the EU on October the 31st, come what may. Conference.
He couldn't resist an attack on the Parliament he'd unlawfully suspended.
If Parliament were a school, Ofsted would be shutting it down or putting it in special measures. If Parliament were a reality TV show, then the whole lot of us, I'm afraid, would have been voted out of the jungle by now.
The front bench strangely delighted at that prospect.
We'd have had the consolation of watching the Speaker being forced to eat a kangaroo testicle.
Joke's done. This was the serious business of his offer to the EU.
We are tabling what I believe are constructive and reasonable proposals, which provide a compromise for both sides. We will, under no circumstances, have checks at or near the border in Northern Ireland. And, at the same time, we will allow the UK, whole and entire, to withdraw from the EU with control over our own trade policy from the start.
So what is the detail of the UK's offer? Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK will leave the EU and its customs union at the same time. In its place will be a new regulatory zone covering the whole of Ireland, which will keep EU standards for goods and food, in effect creating a new border in the Irish Sea where goods need to be checked between Northern Ireland and Great Britain. The government claims there'll be no need for physical checks on the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic because customs checks could take place away from the border. The plan would need to be approved by the Northern Ireland Assembly, currently suspended, before it comes in 2021, and Stormont would be able to review its position every 4 years.
Police have the legal powers and the political.
But even in Boris Johnson's speech, a clue as to where the talks might founder.
If we fail to get an agreement because of what is essentially a technical discussion on the exact nature of future customs checks, when that technology is improving the whole time, then let us be in no doubt, conference, of what the alternative is. The alternative is no deal. Divisions.
There was an acknowledgement from the Prime Minister that Brexit has divided families, even his own.
Well, I want you to know, conference, that I have kept my ace up my sleeve. My mother voted leave.
I didn't know that, said his father, before his son ended with this familiar mantra.
Let's get Brexit done and let's bring this country together. Thank you very much.
This rapturous reception here was never in doubt. The audience of Tory faithful loved the tough talk on Europe. But when the cheers have faded here, the Prime Minister faces his moment of truth. Has he offered the EU anywhere near enough to get Brexit done?
It's now up to the EU. Are they going to dig their heels in and demand unconditional acceptance of everything they've asked for? Or are they actually reasonable, rational negotiating partners? And we will see in the next few days what the situation is.
Back in Westminster, the reception was decidedly chilly.
It's worse than Theresa May's deal. I can't see it getting the support that he thinks it will get, and it will take us into a regime in Britain of deregulation, of undercutting, and I think will also undermine the Good Friday Agreement.
I don't think he's actually going to make a deal because he's deliberately set out proposals that he knows cannot be accepted. That's why he's not serious about getting a deal. He's not serious about the job of Prime Minister.
In the next few days, the Prime Minister will head to Europe to try to get them to embrace his offer. On the defining issue of his premiership, he's finally laid his cards on the table. Romilly Weeks, News at 10, Manchester.